Alrighty, I'm here, finally. This is a great moment. Just so much going on. I've been, since my vacation, just thoroughly relaxed. So I am now here, and we're gonna start rocking and rolling. And someone doesn't know I'm here yet. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Weather's switched out here in Albuquerque, so it's like it's under 35 was feeling today. It went up to about maybe 38, 40. Well, let's get started. This show will be about 75 minutes long at the most, and through divine power and by divine grace, for all of you who are getting the opportunity to tune in to me right now for our show, may you be blessed by what you hear here. May it be something that you could utilize in your life right now, because I'm all about bringing information that you could put into motion, during the show, after the show, whenever. It's not something that you have to wait on to be able to utilize. Sometimes you hear things and you have to quote unquote practice them, and then feel like after your practice, then you kind of go out and execute it. But sometimes you don't have an opportunity to do that, right? You have to put things in motion right away for yourself. So this is an opportunity to be able to do that. Now, just in case there are people who may not hear me, my volume is about 60% on the broadcast, so I can't turn it up any louder than this, or it might make the voice kind of get hazy there. And depending on your bandwidth, mine is a little slower than most. So what you see me doing is my head movements and hand movements and lip movements are about 3 seconds behind the words. So you'll hear the words and then you'll probably see it. Now, if you've got some high bandwidth, you got a lot of space and you got all that other stuff, Blu-ray, HD on a higher level, then you're able to see it almost just like the video being streamed live now, but just like you would watching TV. So everything, does work itself out. All these shows, after they're done, I upload them to my YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/ then you type in the word user, USER, another / and you type in capital CIRCLEOF, capital G for Grace, RACE with the number 1 right at the end, and it takes you right to my page. And my channel will already be there, and you'll see tonight's live video stream, you'll see last week, the one I did then, you'll see the one 2 weeks prior to that. So I have about 67 videos in there, maybe more than that, because I subscribe to other channels that are spiritual. I have Reverend Ike's channel of all of his old YouTube material, so you could click on through mine subscribers and see some of his material. You see something there, Exopolitic, which deals with more paranormal stuff. You'll see Maria DeAndrea. She has some things up on her site. You'll see Patricia Cota Robles of the New Era Society, which brings in, as she calls, the Company of Heaven, which is the Ascended Masters, in their work involving bringing a lot of peace, harmony, and ascension, elevation to us. You'll see other works there too. And I got some comedy stuff. I like to listen to my comedy stuff too. It's all about balance. So you need to do things to balance your life. And I always say, yes, have a spiritual life, but you're in this 3D world too, so you might as well pick up on some of the Matrix funny stuff and what might looked at as comedy, and check it out and listen to it. It's all words, and sometimes it could be a little too colorful, but you need to relax the mind. and it's nothing long and wrong with doing that. And we know that comedy relaxes the mind. And so I have my favorite comedians, the late Bernie Mac, I've listened to, the late Richard Pryor, to listen to, and then some of the current guys that came up and who have made it, like Chris Rock and Kevin Hart and all of these guys. Simone, who's a woman who's been up there with all of them too. So, you listen and you relax, and it takes your mind off of whatever other things that you're dealing with. So tonight's show is going to be really almost a continuation of my Blog Talk Radio show from last night. I talked about what you can do to bring more of a growing awareness to your remembrance. And I like to use those words. So for tonight's show, the title is kind of long, but what do you do? What do you do to increase your awareness so that your remembrance of your divinity can expand? Now, that's quite a long title, so I'm going to open up my chat room here, which is already open. If those of you have an account here with Ustream, you know how that works. You just sign in, and if you want to drop some questions in, you can. Sometimes I might put a few in there myself. And I think, this long title should be there, basically. So I want to make sure I'm going to put it in there. And just bear with me. Okay, we're getting there. We're halfway through the title. And also, what this entails is talking about crystals. I'll be talking about briefly the use of crystals. And that's basically what the title is. I don't want to spend too much time but typing that all in. But those of you that are connected with me on Facebook, you could leave a private inbox message in Facebook for me, and I can answer your question. I'm going to mention several tools, and people use these tools all the time so that they can, open up their centers. And that's what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to open up your center. And so you might just do that. And some people are having a little difficulty coming in and out. What you kind of do sometimes, Ustream is sort of like, if you understand how Skype works, Skype video or Skype audio calls. Skype has like 1 million people a day all the way around the world using Skype and Ustream, as well as Blog Talk Radio and many of these other online broadcasting programs and platforms. And they have as many as sometimes 250 people on their site to like 25,000 people spread out across the United States who are broadcasting. And that's not counting just amateur levels. That's counting like major news channels and colleges and universities. They have these online podcast accounts, and so they're out there doing things as well. And so it's like sometimes a internet traffic jam, and sometimes you get on, sometimes you don't. It happens to me many a times. Sometimes I've gone on here 45 minutes in advance. Now today I came on 7 to 8 minutes late, and I got on cleanly. Other times I've gotten on 45 minutes checking my mics and checking my video and making sure everything is just right, and then still can't get on when showtime arrives. So these things do happen. It's all a learning process, and it's a welcoming process, because it's the only way you learn how to use these things that are constantly changing all the time. And so we're going to begin to get started here. I think my audience is in place, and This is going to, again, take you into some things without overwhelming you. See, I also like to keep everything simple. I don't like to bring something that's going to overwhelm everybody, and then no one is getting the information, because that doesn't help anybody either. So I'm going to put my book up here as gently as possible so I can see. There are many different metaphysical, spiritual, if you want to call it, occult, if you want to call it that. That's another school of thought. It's not just a school of thought; it's a school of action. The occult means hidden, so it's learning various things to reveal things to your consciousness that you normally do not see with your physical eye, which you may sense, but you may also just be more aware of energies around you. Now, I do have a lot of years in studying positive occult. I've been around some people that were doing it negatively, and when I realized, they were in the negative stuff, I had to get out, get out of their circles, because that's not something that I wanted to do, even though from lifetime to lifetime, many of our souls have dabbled and been deeply into dark side arts before we gain that consciousness to rise out of that and step in toward the light and be a significant player in the light. But light and dark are energies of themselves that are equal, and it's just a matter how one is choosing to use that. The practitioner is choosing to use. Some people have worked with dark side energy and have been able to almost nearly do something perfect, something positive with it. But they have learned what it's like. At least when one was doing dark side stuff, they got to know more about what it's like, what it is, and how it overwhelms and overtakes you. But they learned too the power of that stuff, and then it was their ability to free themselves, if at all possible, or find someone who had freed themselves, who then could help free them. So I'm not going to touch any cult stuff. I might in the future talk about maybe the works of Franz Bardon, a German occultist, back in his heyday, back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, where he was out of Germany and did some very powerful things, understanding both sides, but choosing to walk in the light. Okay, so I may bring up some of his teachings. I have a few books here that really explore the meaning, the Kabbalistic meaning, in a more magical way, Kabbalistically, the letters of the alphabet from A to Z. And that's very significant to understand what they mean. And then when you understand what they mean, the words that you speak become more powerful for you, you see. The formulas, because words are really a language or a formula that you use. It's a recipe that you use to, bring more peace, harmony, and happiness and joy into your life. Or sometimes the power of your own word creates, as you know, sadness, grief, and all those other things that weigh you down, that don't allow you to grow in the way that you should grow. So I'm just going to center this around crystals, giving you just a basic idea of crystals. It's important to keep it as simple as possible. I can be very wordy, as many of you may know. I'm going to touch upon definitely color therapy, colors as they're connected in your auric field through your chakras, or colors that you wear. This can go into candle vibrations, the use of candles, the use of incense and oils. The incense and oils could share scents, scents meaning SCENTS, aromatic scents, and those things, how they affect you. Then all of you know about what I've done here for as long as, maybe if you're first time, you've been around me since last year, but I've been doing it since 2008. I've been broadcasting, live streaming, video, as well as audio podcasts. Many of you are familiar with prayers and my affirmative prayers and my decrees that I put together. So I'm not going to touch those so much, but I may, who knows, I may jump into it if spirit moves me. I'm going to briefly talk about yoga as well as qigong and tai chi, because I'm a tai chi practitioner myself, and I'm getting more ready. I'm waiting for a special DVD to show up at my home. I bought one as a seasonal gift for a young teenager that I'm working with, and most of you know him as William. And it really helps him even expand, and he's a pretty sensitive youngster already. He's very empathic as it is, but this will help him have more focus, the study of qigong. So, and I'm getting back into it. Qigong is the basis, the energy skills to move this intrinsic energy, this infinite energy that's found throughout your own body and outside of yourself, in the ground, in the air, in plants and animals. Everything has a significant amount of chi in it, embedded in it, and already flowing through it. So I'm going to talk about the principles of Tai Chi, which means when they do the martial art, it's called Tai Chi Chuan or Tai Chi Chuan or Tai Chi Chuan. And that's more of, they call the grand ultimate fist, means your whole body is like a fist. Every part of your body can be utilized to attack or defend, but it's mainly to defend and release and deflect. It's not really out to hurt. Tai Chi is the Chinese version of the Japanese system called Aikido. Many of you, if you ever watched Steven Seagal movies, when he was back in his heyday as a student of Aikido, Aikido, and that's learning how to use someone's body weight, height, and girth against them by moving in circular motions, everything in a circle, which is similar to people who study another Japanese system called jujitsu, and then take that into the ninjutsu, which is a little bit more hard and more devastating and more quote unquote sublime. And there are plenty of ninjutsu schools out there, along as jujitsu schools, and it really puts the body like a weapon, really sharpens the body, and people of all sizes, weights, classes, doesn't matter, can utilize any of these systems, you see. The same with Tai Chi, or if you study Taekwondo, the Korean style, Hapkido is also more Korean, karate, or you study with some classical ones, the Japanese systems, Shotokan, Goju-ryu, all of these are out there that people have studied over the years and has helped them clarify themselves as an individual. So I'm not going to go into any of that. I left that arena a long time ago, but I still have my dance with Tai Chi and Qigong, because these are the arts that really stay with you a long time. Not that the others don't, but when you get up in age, and I've finally arrived, I'm 64, I rely on that which is more gentle for my body, but again helps to strengthen my body along the way. And many of us know we go through many situations where, yeah, we were once slim and trim and we bulk up in weight, but you can still utilize these systems to regain the necessary balance in your life and in your body, so that your body carries your weight and allows you to be more agile and to be more cat-like when you're walking, more sensitive to your environment. And it's all about sensitivity for me. So I'm going to impart some information about my experiences of Tai Chi, the studies of Tai Chi, which began for me September 1973 while beginning my senior year in college. That's when I got introduced to it. So we're talking about 43 years ago. Now, I'm not a master of it. I do what I can to apply it to myself. And it's we talk about mastership is really mastering you, mastering yourself. It has nothing to do. None of these martial arts really have anything to do with mastering the person in front of you. It's all about self-mastery, and therefore if you master yourself, then anything that happens to you or through you, you have a better way of looking at it, dealing with it, so that you come out all right. Okay, so crystals. Crystals are all forms. As we know, they're the like this rose quartz family. In the rose quartz, you've got the clear quartz, you've got celestial quartz stones. You have also in the quartz family, citrine is a favorite one. Quartz stones always amplify. They're amplifiers. So that's why I'm going to talk a little bit more about them tonight than anything else. When you are dealing with quartz, the quartz family, amethyst, clear quartz, rose quartz, celestial, which is in the quartz family, these stones are what they call amplifiers. And all gemstones are, we say in the shamanic way, as well as if you even if you weren't a shaman, but you're someone who acclimated yourself to the spiritual studies of what the earth is giving us, you find out that all of these stones have, yes, they have their scientific properties, and I'm not a master of that, but I do know metaphysically how they speak and spiritually how they speak, and all things are organic. All of the indigenous people around the world, all the aboriginal people around the world will tell you everything around you is alive and therefore speaks to you in different ways. So many of when you get a lot of the crystal books that are out there on the market, and there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them, as well as blogs and articles and people who are teaching you how to work with the gemstones, know that each person who's writing about them is writing from their own experience with them in terms of a deeper awareness through meditation, dream world, astral world traveling, soul traveling, to gain an understanding of how these beautiful earth gems work with us. And there are other quote unquote gems which come from, let's say, the sap of a tree. Yeah, that works itself into gems as well, such as amber. Amber is the sap from a tree, and over millions and billions of years gets hardened, almost like a glass, and you'll see like a yellow amber, and you'll see more of the brown amber. And amber is one that allows you to reflect deeply into the past, whether it's your own life, current life stream, or many, many, many years and eons ago, ages ago. And then you have the ones that are called obsidian. Right? I said I was going to stick with the quartz, but let me see if I have an obsidian up here. I got them all over the place. But here's one that's called a snowflake obsidian. I'll hold this a little closer. It's polished and heart-shaped, but they call it snowflake because of all the patterns that you see there. And this is the patterns of, you might say, the ashes from the lava. And the obsidian is what they call a stone, quote unquote stone, but it's really lava that's hardened once it comes out of the volcano, and is hardened over many, 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 many years, and then it forms into a rough appearance, and therefore they just take it and polish it up, and voila, that's what you have. And that snowflake is obsidian is a representation. Obsidian is the representation of self-mastery, going into the deepest part of your soul, deepest part of your psychological makeup, and to be able to comprehend that part about yourself. Um, and as you begin to comprehend that part about yourself, then you go into deeper awareness, and that ashen white that comes to the surface of the lava after it hardens and gets like glass, almost like a black glass. That parts, those flecks that you see there, represent the light coming down. So Snowflake Obsidian is about you being so magnetic that you open yourself up. You're so receptive for the light to come in. So it means that you're able to receive greater light and be able to utilize that light through yourself like an open doorway. So you are your own key, you see. Rose quartz deals with the emotions, your emotional nature, and it's a cleansing of your emotions, and it gets you into a state of compassion, thankfulness, gratefulness, or gratitude. It gets you into the power of grace, where grace is a blessing upon you, even without you being the wealthiest person in the world, nor the poorest person in the world. Grace is there, meaning there's ease that is brought into your life, and things come to you, and you're just in a state of synchronicity with everything going on in your life. And that's what grace does. Grace just comes in. She comes, he or she, the spirit of grace, comes into your life and offers you that peace, so that you know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, you are wealthy, you are healthy, you are this budding spirit that cannot be blocked, cannot be broken down. You cannot be separated from the divine, because you are an integral part of the divine. You're just like what they talked about, the Fibonacci code. You're a perfection inside of perfection inside of perfection. You're holographic. You could take any part of your body, and it's supposed to replicate another part of yourself. And we see that in seeds of plants, be it vegetation, vegetables and fruits, or down into acorns and oak trees. They have a connection. The acorn is the seed of the oak tree, the fruit of the oak tree. So it just goes on and on and on, that everything is connected to everything that's connected to everything, and there's no separation. And many people talk about this. I was just made aware of it through my sister, that next year sometime, Greg Braden is doing a whole event on coherence, and realizing that every being, everyone, everything is interconnected to everything else. And it's amazing when we get that in our mind, because if you understand that you can be more, you can grow in your compassion, you can grow in your unconditional love, and it really takes off when you understand that every one of us that is on the planet today, in the ethers today, that have crossed over into the, as we say, crossed over into the light, that are on this veil of the light, every living creature, everything, right down to the molecular and atomic structure of this piece of rose quartz, is all connected as one, has one consciousness. And this is why sometimes when people have so much anger and hate in them, they block themselves off from this infinite grid of light. And so people will feel shortchanged. They're going to feel angry. They're going to feel separated. But those of us who understand differently, due to our own experiences, we can help turn that around. And that's why I always state to a lot of people, a lot of things have gone on in the past month, but now what do you do? And one of the best things you can do is, as fast as you can, return to your divine nature, and still go about the business of releasing peace, harmony, love, unconditional love, compassion, living in a state of gratitude. Still put that out into this world that we're in, because this world needs that. What was that song? I think Dionne Warwick sang that Burt Bacharach wrote. I think that's his name. He said, "What the world needs now is love, sweet love." The world, that was what, way back in the '60s when she sang that tune, and it's relevant today. The world needs love, and love means the ability to reach out and care for someone. Really, really care how they feel, how they think, making sure that that person could feel better about themselves, about their life, that they can do something to change their life if it's not the way that they see it. So it's about uplifting. And whether you are living in a shoebox or renting a small space or living in a mansion, you still have an opportunity to impact someone else's life. Today, as an example, before I move a little deeper into this next one, I saw a gentleman. He's homeless. And I was walking up to the gas station to do something. There's one of these gas stations not far from my home. Walking up to the gas station on my way to do something there and then go off and have brunch. Have a late breakfast lunch for myself at some place that I like to go to. And this gentleman was outside. I recognized him. It was very cold out, but he was in a certain state of mind where the cold did not affect him. He had on real, like I call Knickerbocker shorts on. Shorts. Yeah, well, anyway, I'm not going to go into that. But the fact that I hadn't seen this guy there in 6 months. 6 months I haven't seen him there. And I'm walking, looking at the ground, coming through the gas station lot, looking at the ground, and he says, "Hey, buddy," like that. And I look up, and he says, "Yeah, I ain't seen you in a long time." It's amazing how people are really tuned in. And this is another thing, people being connected to people. And it took me a while to realize, yeah, I saw him before, but it was 6 months ago. He remembered me. Now, he wasn't high either. He was very conscious. He remembered me. He remembered not seeing me in a long time. So I said to him, "You've probably been here maybe just an hour." He said, "Yeah, you just got back from someplace," and he's right there. So it just kind of lets you know that the circuitry of life is a divine one. It's a psychic one. It's an empathic one. It's intuitive. And people do know who you are on some level. If they haven't seen you in a long time, they know something about you. They remember something about you all the time. And it's a blessing when you hear the remembrance. That means that person is very aware of their environment, who is in it and who is not in their environment. So that's a very good example. I wanted to bring that out. Always be aware of the people in your environment. Because if you are aware of them, you will notice that they are also aware of you. And that's a good sign, because that means everybody's paying attention. No one is living in fear or, feeling shut out. They're enjoying life. They're connecting with people in whatever way that they can, and whatever way that they allow themselves to. So here we just touched about, the energy of crystals, and crystals are a part of that further makeup that allows us to really connect. And you always want to remember, it's your job to connect. Let me get a little sip of water, my blue glass. Kind of match almost my blue collar, right? Like my little teal turquoise blue there. So what you want to do is realize that everything is connected. So crystals give off an energy. As I was saying, you can radiate your thought into a crystal. The crystal can hold it, as they say, charge it. But you don't have to really think about charging it. It already does that naturally. If you're empathic enough, or you're someone who's very sensitive, you could pick up crystals, quartz or regular polished stones, or a rough stone like this. Here's a rough piece of jasper, that I got. I had this piece of jasper ever since I've been here in New Mexico. I think I got this way down in City of the Rocks, they call it. I like to call it People of the Rocks. Way down there in Deming, there's the national park there, and this came right off the ground. You know, it just kind of popped up and stared at me, and here was a piece of red jasper that I picked up. Wherever I go, if I'm called to do it, the earth gives me a gift. So I have plenty of stones from all over different national parks here in the studio area here, and all around my equipment. But everything speaks. Everything speaks to you. And as I said before, many of the writers and teachers, many of us we repeat what we've seen in books, because you have to do it. You have to do it to trigger. And then it's your own experience that you have that's speaking to you. Now there's colors, or we call color therapy. And color therapy, or therapeutics, is the ability to take things such as color and allow that color to motivate you, to energize you, to relax you, to make you more magnetic, make you more outgoing, make you more settled, make you more emotionally sensitive, just like the crystals do. These things help us to increase your awareness. Awareness means you have to grow in sensitivity, right? So as you grow in your sensitivity, you allow your energy of your consciousness to get higher, to elevate itself. So there are numerous colors, and this is why I like to do artwork every now and then. You know, I remember my earlier years back in college, we're talking about 40 some odd years ago or more. It was very difficult to find all the little colors that you wanted. They just had the standard, you know, shades of earth tones, like of course, the black color, and then brown, and then russet brown, and rust brown, and sienna brown, you know, and all of those kind of rich colors. And then you had the greens. You had the Kelly greens. You had the emerald green shade paint colors, and then you had olive tone colors, and then you had cadmium yellow, cadmium red, pink, ochre. You know, you had all of these colors, but it was never quite enough. Never quite enough to get what you wanted to get. And now, over the past, I would say about 35, maybe 25 years ago, they started creating these other colors that you don't have to worry about creating. But, you know, one of the things about painting is you put your mind into what you're doing, and you will find the color that you want to use. And painting, as well as drawing, is very healing. It really brings out, and, you know, I'm informally trained as well as formally trained. At least when I went to college, it took me a long time to understand what abstract was about. I just would not let it into my mind what abstract was about. I didn't like abstract, just like I didn't like playing blues, you know, on the guitar. It was too sad. But I didn't understand what abstract was. You know, it took me 4 years of college to get in my head that abstract was from something taken from an original thing and then brought up a tract of it, a small piece, exploded so you can see it. That's what an abstract is, you see. Abstract painting, like you extract something that is true and you blow it up bigger so that it creates a whole nother picture, and you take it from there. Well, you know, when you're doing abstract painting, and this is a segue into color therapy, you have to be careful of the tones and what I call the pitches of color. The tones, pitches, and accents of color. Because if you realize it, and again, you don't have to connect this to astrology, the planets, and the sun signs. You just really pay attention. People that run businesses, and this is what you need to know. People that run, like, let's say, fast food businesses, they go into colors. They study colors to a certain degree. Just like people that run warehouses and factories. They don't want you dreaming about anything big in a warehouse other than the work. That's why in the back of the warehouse, you see bland old black, olive, green, oxide green, gray, battleship gray. You see all of those colors back there. That has nothing to do with the workers tuning above and beyond. It's really a psychological approach so that the warehouse person, just like a military person, will have control. When they tell you, give you the instructions, then you do such and such and such and such. You're not going to go above their head. You're following the instructions, so your energy is toned down. Your mental energy. Basically, your mental energy is dumbed down so that you're more robotic. And that's why they can do an assembly line. And you pay attention to that assembly line. Or you pay attention to, the machine capping the bottle properly or putting fluids or whatever that needs to be put in a bottle, and you got to sit there and check it. All this tedious work. That's what it's all designed for. None of that is designed so that you're looking past there, you see. Going into a bank. Have you ever paid attention to the decor of a bank, of your bank? Now, some banks are just kind of mellowed out. Some banks, though, if it's all about the money, all about investments, then you should look at the color of the wood, the color of the carpet area that when you walk in, is that carpet, usually the carpet, of course, is consistent for the public to stand in, where the tellers are, where the other bank representatives are in their cubicles. That rug is usually consistent. Some places, and this was like back on Long Island, the EAB, the European American Bank, they would put little diamond patterns on their rugs. So you would be looking at, let's say, a dark ultramarine blue, like a navy blue rug, and would have little tiny specks of diamond shapes on the rug. And diamond is like diamond. So it's supposed, when you look at it, you got a serious feeling that you should put your money in that bank. That's a subliminal message. Put the money in the bank. Diamonds, it'll allow you to acquire diamonds, you see. And then you're looking at wood frame that was highly polished, like a mahogany color or cherry walnut color. All of those are designed to make you feel a sense of wealth, that sense of security. And then, of course, everything else that comes into play. Now, how about when you go to a fast food place? Many of you have been in a fast food place. Just look at by no accident. There's no accident when you go inside, like if you ever been in the old McDonald's and the Arby's and the Carl Jr.'s and all these other places, but maybe more of the McDonald's and the Burger Kings. Hey, they got red, they got orange, and what else they got? Red, orange, and yellow. No accident. Red, root chakra. Orange, sacral, second chakra. Yellow, solar plexus. And then the sign even tells you, you got 30 minutes to consume your meal. Even though you could have been waiting 5 minutes to get the meal, place your order, but you got 30 minutes to consume your meal. It's a fast food place. So the energy is all physical. And it's designed to make you, everywhere you look, are these colors, red, orange, and yellow. Orange is quick elimination. It's also warmness and friendliness. Red is feeling safe and secure, protected, but fast, move fast. Not like a stoplight on the street post, right? Stoplight red, then you're supposed to stop, right? That's the program. It is at the top, you stop, it's red. If it's yellow, it's amber, right? Boom, it hits green, go. That's why they set it up that way. They don't make it, amber, red, green. It's usually red. You got to stop. Or sometimes they will give you that amber color. That's a caution. Get ready to slow down. Then they give you red. You got to stop. But then, boom, it shifts right into green, right? Some colors are just red and green. Got to be ready. So, fast food. root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus. Even if you're not looking around, because you've seen those colors have been associated through commercials on TVs and movie theaters. Movie theaters are the same way. It's designed to be a happy place in the movie theater, especially when you're going to get your food. They normally don't put a white wall behind the workers too much. The wall is not for the worker per se. The wall is for you. But if they put yellows and oranges to make them move fast. Take your order and deliver that order to you fast. Take your money, give you your change back quickly. There's no accident. You look on the floors. They can be checkered colored. They can be fuchsia pink and black. It's designed to get you moving. It get you to hop up there to the counter and order, right? So you want to look at all of these things and how colors affect you. Now, you go to a casino. You should look at a decor in a casino as well. Some will be using a lot of purples and things. And when you see a place that's using purples and lavenders and magentas, if you're not psychically connected, those kind of colors are designed to wear you out. Now, you should be very relaxed where you see lavenders and purples, because that's, purple is crown chakra. Indigo color, that's third eye. The magenta range is the base of your skull. That should basically, help you. Light blues, lighter than this for the throat chakra. It should help you, but it's not designed to help you. And that's why you hear slot machines going off. See, it gets you into the groove. But then you're hearing slot machines going off. You're hearing people talking all the time. You're hearing the waitress coming around there, and there's a certain way they'd have the waitress dressed to distract your attention on some level, or get you to talk to her on some level, or talk to him on some level, so that you are not keyed in through your third eye and your crown and your thymus and all that. It's designed just to open you up so that you become high off the energy, but not high enough to beat the house. And if you are one who could come and beat the house, that means you're not paying attention to the colors, which is great. That's what happens to those people that play the $1 million poker games. They do not pay attention to none of those colors. They're paying attention to the frequency and the consistency of their thoughts and in the game when they come to play. And that's what's keeping them on focus. So you always want to pay attention to your surroundings. Hospitals. You see it all there. Or even a dentist's office. Or a private doctor's office. They always wear a white jacket. You've heard of the white jacket syndrome. People see that white jacket, their high blood pressure goes through the roof. They can't sit. When the doctor takes a high blood pressure, their blood pressure when they're seated is through the roof. When they stand, it's a little different. But it's like that fight-flight sensation. Usually when you see that, it means you're going to the hospital. You can't relax. You're supposed to be, you see white, you're supposed to feel stronger, you're supposed to feel protected. Even if the doctor wore a different color. If he wore a black top, you're supposed to feel that too. But it's power. Courtrooms. Judges don't walk in with a gray robe. Judge walks in vested with power. A black robe. Magnetic. All eyes on me. I am the master. Just letting you know, these different things are out there. Colors do affect you. Yes, police officers mainly are supposed to wear blue, dark blue. That almost looks like black. Blue is supposed to be law and order kind of colors, Masonic oriented. You see state troopers, a lot of them wearing gray. You're supposed to have the wisdom. Supposed to have a lot of wisdom to act on. Sometimes that doesn't always work. You don't always see it, but that's what it means. They have wisdom. Supposed to be a lot of perks that they're supposed to know about. So this is just showing you how colors are utilized. Indigenous tribes all over the world have their colors. You recognize them by their colors. This is why gang members have known to wear colors. They know they wear certain colors certain days of the week. You know who you're dealing with. You know what's out on the street. Everybody uses colors. Everybody. So you now got a little short thing about colors in places, of businesses, in the street. But how about your own homes? What you choose to use. You might find the way certain colors that you place around yourself gives you a sense of peace and harmony or wealth. Always pay attention, because those colors that you choose are helping you to have a better life, a smoother life. Right down to the colors that you wear. Which I was going to say earlier, certain people look better in some colors than other people do. Now this is just something that I've noticed over the years doing numerology and studying colors, is that people born on the number 8, 17, or 26, 8, 17, or 26 of any calendar month, they can get away with wearing black and dark brown, chocolate brown, beiges, tans. They can wear some silver, gray, light gray, charcoal gray. They can wear it, and it looks just right on them. Seems like other people can't wear it. Unless, if you happen to be under the sign of Cancer, you can wear it. It should be just highlights. 8 represents Saturn. So 1 plus 7 is 8, 2 plus 6 is 8. So as an example, 8 is Saturn, which is the rule of Capricorn. So that means people born under the sign of Capricorn, they wear black well. It doesn't upset them. They look very grounded. Actually, when you see them wearing black, they look very clear. They look purposeful. You see, they're determined when they wear. That's their natural color. They can wear the brown. They get the same thing. Now, some Capricorns, depending, let's say if they're born on the vibration of 6, like the 24 of December or January 6th, January 15th, then they can wear more blues, teal blues, turquoise blues. They look really good in it. So I just bring that up as an example. People born in the sign of Cancer or on the vibration of 2, 11, 20, and 29, they look great in pastel shades. They look really good. So they can wear just about every color of the rainbow, and any dark shades should be worn as a highlight, but lighter shades. Some people, though, can't wear blaring reds. It just doesn't work for them. It can make them too hyper. Some people can't wear fuchsia pink. It can make them too hyper. They look at the color, doesn't settle them down. So you have to watch what kind of effect a color has on you. And this is why when you look at the fashion industry, they try to choose the color of the year, of the season. That's according to the fashion designer, the color of the season, because they want to project certain things, a certain theme. But you have to look at what do you look good in. Should you wear a blazing red tie with black dots, purple dots, blue diamond shapes, paisley shapes, burgundy ties? You wear a yellow tie with the tiny dots on it, or stripes? Or do you come off with a plain black tie with silver stripes coming to bands diagonal? You decide what looks good on you. When the fashion experts do it, it's mainly to sell a clothing line, which is alright, to sell their products. So they know what's going to be the hot. Why? Because they all talking about it, they're projecting it, and they got 6 months to influence your mind with it, and then you see the model wear it, or people wear it. But it's what you choose to wear, what you feel comfortable in wearing, that works best for you. So that's how colors. Now, here's another way about colors. You might use colors in your room or office to create a soothing vibration. Now, if I said this right, people have, for years have experienced the John of God bed, as they call it. And it's a massage table covered with a nice mat or sheet and pillow to rest your head. and they have colored lamps for each one of the chakras over you or underneath you. And it's designed to give off a certain vibration, a color radiance for the body to balance your chakras. Now, my sister uses one called the Buddha Maitreya Metatron Healing Mat. No colors involved, just vargas with crystals, copper and magnets on them in sacred geometrical shapes at the top, one end, and on another end, and then with a clip and connect to a copper bar, magnetic copper bar in the mat, with there plenty of crushed crystals, and that's connecting the two together. And then of course your intention, because there's a biomagnetic field that you carry in your auric field. Is bio meaning organic, living energy, right, of your molecular and atomic structure, and the magnetism, electromagnetism of your body, and then having these vargas and the crystals and the magnets, that enhances it. And if you're in the right frame of mind, connection, and one is sensitive enough, they could see your auric field. I remember when my sister got on one in, I think, 2012. We were at an event, and at the end of the event, she got on it, and I was using my hands to scan her auric field, and it had magnified about 10 times, meaning that it was roughly, when she got on it, it was roughly about 6 feet from her body, and it like tripled out, 18 feet. I was standing across the lobby or the atrium, seeing her energy just go all over. So when you see that vibration, how it kind of carries itself, you can then see how colors and things affect. Now, if you tune into me, I'm always radiating. I had like gave you a little pink or purple in there. You just saw it right in here. See, there's a purple haze in there, working that purple energy so that you can feel relaxed and know that the vibration is good and healthy. So we're talking about crystals, so this is helping everybody at this time. Now, there are also the chakras. The word chakra, Chakra, is Sanskrit Hindu word that means wheel of light. And so this wheel of light is around the body, emanating from the major organs in your body. Your heart chakra, even with the heart, radiates an energy, and all of these are basically seen in the center, in the core of your body, trunk of your body, radiating out. Now, it used to be that people were seeing it this way, and it appears to be that way, but in reality, the vibration is like mushrooms out, comes up and mushrooms out at each area of your body. So if you were to get, let's say, aura photography work done, you would notice that the energy is around your body, looks like an outline, but is also in front of your body, and it's not just linear, it's elliptical at the same time, it's circular, and is running really parallel to each other through the floor, but they're intertwined, interlaced. And there are all kinds. I've been seeking out an aura camera. Those things are like, I think, $2,000 to $2,500 for the software. You can get it hooked up to your computer through your camera, the software, and it actually will take a picture of your auric field at that moment that you're open to it, relaxed. It will catch it. Now, there's other ones that people in the pranic healing schools use. It has a metal box with silver plates on it, but on the other side there are electrodes running in to the plate, and then you lay your hands on the plate that looks like a hand and a finger, and then they click the button, and there's a slight buzz. You probably don't even feel it, and it projects it onto like a map, onto a screen, and then you can see, your health of your chi, so to speak. And that's a different interpretation. Sometimes that catches your energy level, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Other ways, in the original ways that the aura photography worked, it picked up pretty much energy fields, and you could see the aura, the various colors of the chakras that come off, and you could denote, if you're more crown chakra, you'll see a lot of purple and violet shades. If you're more indigo, your third eye is wide open. If you got a lot of turquoise in there, you're more Christ Buddhic consciousness energy going on. Sometimes people in their auric field could see more green coming through, which means you have the healing vibrations. The green and the blues and the turquoise are more yellow. You're more pensive, more of an analytical person, logic and reasoning type of person. But all of these color radiations have their meanings at various levels, so you don't have to feel like you're locked in. But many of you out there who listen to this show later, do some research and let me know if you have found aura photography equipment, because I'm looking to get one. I'm going to use it later on in 2017 in my work, to be able to bring that equipment with me to someone's home and you can check their auric field. And it's great because you can check the auric field while you're in a more calm way. What I mean by calm, just centered, not thinking about anything. And then you can project your energy field, and it does pick it up. It picks it up, and I know over the years when I've gone, like when I lived on Long Island and worked out of New York City, excuse me, there was a woman there that was taking the pictures, like Polaroid shots, using the same equipment. And it was like $10 per shot. And I wanted to project how I was after doing 5 quick psychic readings. I think I did 15 that night. And halfway through, I wanted to see how my auric field looked. So I went up very composed, just relaxed and open. She took the shot, and then we waited 2 or 3 minutes, and then we took another one. And what I did on the second one, I didn't tell her, but I kept it to myself. I wanted to project my shield up through my auric field. And so I chose to think white and just see it all around me. Then I gave it a thumbs up, and she took the picture. And it was beautiful. The first shot showed some of my guides. You could see the bulbing, curved shapes within the color fields. Like, looked like guides were looking at me and then looking at the camera, so to speak. That was beautiful. There was a lot of lavenders and pinks and gold flecks and a lot of violet energy running through. And I'm looking for them. I have them around. One of these days I have a few of the old ones I had in 1975 that were Curlian photography shots at an esoteric fair on Long Island. And you'll see the rings of chi I used to work with back then coming off of my fingers. I'm still looking to get that back. But when she looked at that second picture, she said, "Wow, you got a field of white light arcing." I said, "Yeah, I projected my shield. I wanted to see if it would come up." 6 months later, she was on Long Island, and I had her do it again. And it was after one time I wasn't feeling well. I think I had pneumonia or something, but I was well just in time for the event. And I wanted to see how I was. And in that day I did over 20-25 readings out on Long Island, and I took a break in the middle of the day. And I went over to her and I said, you don't have anything. I want to sit and see what happens. And I just want to see the overall shot. And she took a picture, and all 7 chakra rays could be seen, from the red at the base going right up, fusing into each other right into purple for the crown. And each one at the designated area was very distinct. Yellow and orange and blues, and it's just matched. So I'm trying to look for those right now. Hopefully I'll find them one day and I'll show them. So the reason why you want to work with auras and these types of equipment, so that you can see how your energy is really projecting itself. And this is good to do. Now, candles. Candles have been utilized for eons. There hasn't been one civilization that doesn't use candles. whether it was candles to light your way on a path inside of a cave, or whether it was candles inside of a house because maybe your lights blew out. Maybe you didn't pay the light bill and you got to use candles to get your way, see your way around. The candles set off a great ambiance. We know, like in temples and churches, whether they are rituals and ceremonies or not, candles have been utilized. Whether they want them to represent the ascended masters or the saints or certain deities, candles have been utilized. And we see like paraffin wax used. Paraffin wax is kind of rough on the sinuses. When you use that, you got to have some air going through your area, or you're going to just smell that wax, and the oil that's in the wax and is not healthy for you, chemicals. But there's such as the beeswax candle, as they call them, and those are more natural, more wholesome, and they are, depending on how you use them, they may last a little longer than a paraffin wax candle. But one of the things about using a beeswax candle is that it's more natural, so it's going to give off an essence, but that essence is not going to overwhelm your body. It's not going to clog your sinuses. It's not going to make you coughing and carrying on and sneezing like a paraffin wax. And then you don't have to worry about kicking the windows wide open unless you are in the summertime or something like that. So candles are something that can help you. They represent your vigilant thinking, your vigilant prayer. Candles with the flame, the science of candle burning is dealing with the flame. The flame is like primal energy, fire. That's what it is. Spirit, fire, spirit. So when you see the candle flame, you're dealing with the diva energies or deva energies of the flame. And the deva energy of the flame is called Jinn, but it's spelled D-G or D-J-I-N-N, but it's pronounced Jinn. And they are the representatives of that. And sometimes you'll catch the name called salamander. And the salamander is like along the line of like the little baby dragons, like Komodo dragons, and what they call the mythical dragons, or the really dragons that do exist in the ethers. And that's what a candle flame is used for. There have been many tribal uses for candles. As I say, religious, ceremonial, rituals, as well as actual work. People have utilized the candles to get what they want, so to speak, or to help generate the mindset to attract things, whether it's the people say feeling more loved, or more love between couples, or they burn a red candle. People want to absorb negativity and block it, they burn black. People want new beginnings, they burn black and white. People want to consecrate their tools, be it a crystal bowl, a pendulum, crystal healing rods, you name it. They use a green and a yellow candle to concentrate it. They want the purity of the heavens, which is white, and the purity of the earth, which is the green. So that's why that's being utilized. I just lay this out as an example. There's the chakra colors, or they call a rainbow colored candle. There's so many different ways. You can write a prayer and put it underneath the candle. You can pull, like have a 7-day candle that or they call it pull-outs. They don't make them as like they used to. They make them a little smaller now, but you pull them out, you write on the candle, then you dress it with oils, and then you can put sprinkles on it and do your own thing, have your own sigils on the candle. All kind of ways, do stuff, and then put it back in the glass and bam, light it up. So there's so many ways in which candles have been utilized to increase. They're just tools of increase. It's the same if you use a Tibetan bowl or a crystal bowl. You're using the tone, the sound, the energy to vibrate your residence, your dwellings, and then when it begins to resonate, certain sounds blending with other sounds is helping to raise the vibration. You can put them in the middle of your home. You could put them, I wouldn't put them near a fireplace because fireplace is giving off a lot of heat unless the ledges around by the fireplace off to the side are cool, or you have a pillow in which to set them on, or padding on the pillow and set them on just to keep them secure or keep them on the table. So, or put them just somewhere where they're not getting cracked or broken or run into. So you have crystal bowls just for that. Those are very helpful. Change the energy of a room. You can use crystal on the body, on the chakras, to open up a chakra field and place the crystal. And there's crystals, bowls for each chakra. Like a C note, middle C note, that's a root chakra crystal. So that's, the base or the root. That helps open the root up, helps to resonate the energy, and allows you to be able to be more safe, sound, and secure. Notice it says safe sound. See, safe sound is safe to sound the chakra. See, the body is hollow. Yeah, but we see, inside the body there are bones, there's muscles, but the bones themselves, if not brittle and the bone marrow is supple, sound will travel through the bone. If you're around where someone's ringing a gong and your teeth vibrate, that means your teeth are hollow too. It's no accident when you see somebody, let's say, playing the kunga drum, big kunga drums, and they put their body, they put it between their legs, and when they play it, they're not just holding it, but it allows them to move that drum up and down to cup the sound, to muffle the sound, or make it come out louder. But what's the other thing that's going on? It's attached to their body. They're holding it with their legs. That vibration is going right up their body. Percussion sounds represent the heartbeat. The person can cause your heart to race or your heart to slow down. There's no accidents you have marching bands. They do the same thing. They're designed to pump the blood, pump the flow, get the excitement going, get the team going, right? There's no accident that colonial times, and other military groups use the horn. Person charge and blow the horn. That horn is designed to get you revved up. Drums, same thing. Percussion instruments designed to create a vibration so that you can ride on that frequency. Frequency is the continuation of a rhythm, through rhythm and sound. Rhythm as in cadence. Certain way that is played, a certain sound level that is played, a certain tone or pitch, then the volume of it. All of these things equate to moving energy through space using sound. We do it when we pray. You can pray out loud. With a prayer, you can use an affirmation out loud, or you could keep it low tone to yourself or silently. Still sound. Along with the candles, you have the oils and which are certain essences that are used in a tincture format. Small dram bottles to 1 ounce bottles to 2 ounce bottles to 4 ounce bottles. Well, people bought them in 8, but then they're getting cut. So we would say in the old days of working in those herb shops, or botanicas as they call them, Spanish word, herb shops, where one would work there as a reader and putting all these herb mixtures together for sachets and power bags, or if you're down in New Orleans, they call it, or Jamaica, call it mojo bag. Get your mojo on, and those bags were made out of leather, or and you can still use them. They're made out of leather, or they'd be made out of suede or silk. And I used to make them a long time ago. Back in the day, I think I charged about $7. I knew what kind of herbs to put in. I would put money in there too, and I'd use what they call a southern practice, a buckeye, and these things are designed just to get the mind rolling, to think more prosperous or think more protective energy. They're just tools, but they did work. I remember my elder brother coming to me, and his music business was slow, and he said, "Hey, I got this spray, 7 Indian spirit spray can." I said, yeah, that'll help you. I said, why don't we do this? Tell me what you want, and I'm going to go get the sage, I'm going to get the crystals, and I'm going to use some other essences. I'm going to make you a pouch, and then I'll deliver it to your house after I get off from work. And I set up a pouch for him. And he said, well, do I have to wear the pouch? Now, he was into this stuff, but he said, did he have to wear the pouch? I said, nah, not necessarily. I said, you do have an office that you work from or your music room. So why don't you do this? You have a drum set that you don't take out of the house. So, and then you have a drum set that you do use to play. So the one that you use in the house, you could attach it to that one. Then you sit there and you do a meditation, and you're bringing the focus of everything that's in that bag connected to the drums, connected to your music, or you just hang it somewhere. And I said, here's a bottle of oil that every now and then, about every month, you open up the bag. If you don't smell the oil in, that means it evaporated into the bag. You just pour a few drops with a dropper inside the bag and seal it up. Well, anyway, it took about 3 months, but in the course of the 3 months, it was really the intention of the prayer behind the bag and its contents, and the intention of where I saw him going from only having 5 students to having 5 students a week, which gave him 20 students a month, and graduated to 30 students a month. And then seeing him playing more clubs and more gigs, to the point that he went from maybe only making his business being cut down to $500 to jump up to $3,600 a month just in teaching music or performances. So the intention of the mind with various tools work. There's also other things. People have used rune stones and chips, understanding what the rune markings are, to again attune the mind a certain way to put something forward. Then there is also with the candles, the oils and the incenses made from certain herbs and powders to get an aromatic scent. There has been the use of some of the basics, such as sage, right? People know they smudge their home with the actual sage sticks and sage cones. There's sandalwood that helps relax the mind. Sage expands the mind and clarifies the atmosphere. Sandalwood will clarify the atmosphere. It'll actually bring you closer to a connection to solar vibrations flowing around you. Then there's, like I said, amber. Amber scent is a very soft, warm scent, and it kind of projects you back in your mind to good old memories, past lives. Amber is very good for past lives. Sage is past lives. There's the Moldavite gemstones, Moldavite and Tektites. These are more like the meteorites, coming out of the galaxy and landing on the Earth. The Moldavite landed mainly in the Czech region, and some of the others landing down in the South American regions. Then there's and the Moldavites, more galactic kind of energy connected. Etheric energy is very powerful. It's good for channeling. It's good for connecting with the angelic presence and other forms around you. Then there's jasmine. Jasmine's overall soft scent. Jasmine has been used to gain fortune in one's life, not just a monetary fortune, but fortune, prosperity, and abundance. It's brought happiness into one's life. Then there's rose, like the scent of a rose. There's like a red rose oil, but the red rose oil, I found out over the years, earlier years, it was tinted with like food coloring a little bit. So it's not a true red rose oil. The oil is really white with a scent of it added in. And there's many of the oils when received, some of them are dark, some of them are light. Some of them have a slight greenish or a slight bluish tint, but it's not what you think. When you get them real dark like that, there's been a lot of other things added into it, but the overall scent is there. Lavender has been used as healing, and many of you out there have probably used lavender to heal yourself. Lavender leaves, okay, or petals. You've probably seen those little, I call them eye pillows, that you put over your eye blinders, right? Night blinders, and you rest them on your eyes. And it's not so that you can open your eyes, but they rest like right here and right here, because there are sensitive zones here and here that relax your sinuses so that you can breathe deeply and go to sleep. There's eucalyptus ones too that clears out your sinuses and so forth. Rose is always a sense of heartwarming, being centered in the heart, being more unconditional, more loving, more at peace, more grounded, and a sense of increase coming in to your life. And so that's some of the basics. I don't want to spend too much time. And people talk about frankincense and myrrh. You know, those have been used in traditional religious ceremonies for clearing spaces and elevating. Frankincense is more sweeter scent. Myrrh is more pungent scent, but used to repel, basically, and pull in and absorb. People have always wanted to know about yoga. Well, I believe there are about 12 schools of yoga. There's the Bhakti yoga, Bhakti, and that's known as devotional yoga, more like a religious ceremonial yoga. There's no postures, physical postures being used. There's Hatha yoga. One word represents sun, and the other represents moon, Hatha. And the pillars of light, or braids of light running through the body. One side on the right is solar, and the other side is lunar. And so these energies entwined around the spine sympathetically create the staff of Caduceus or Hermes, and it represents igniting from the root chakra. In the Hindu schools of yoga, we see the serpent, the symbol of the serpent coiled up, and then the head sits up a little bit, and where the eyes are and the head, that's the second chakra. And this energy, when released, starts to snake its way up through the body and touch upon all the chakras. Some people is a year, some people is 10 years, some people is 20 years. It just takes its time according to each individual, and hopefully they have a good teacher that helps them understand the flow of the Kundalini, Kundalini, or if you want to go back to Earth, Wind, and Fire, they talk about the serpentine energy. Same thing. They were talking about it way back 60s and 70s, right? The serpentine power, Earth, Wind, and Fire. There's, Earth, Wind, and Fire. They had each person in the group acclimating those elements. And yet they talked about some of the most positive music. But they was also very spiritual. Same with Sun Ra. He was another guy, played blues. He's no longer on the planet. He was a piano player, turned jazz and blues, and he went into this Sun Ra's orchestra. He was way out there on his own talking about galaxies and things. Or Pharaoh Saunders, he had the master has a master plan, something like that was his music. Peace and harmony across the land, and he played a saxophone. But all of these things are designed, to lift your spirit, to increase your awareness and your remembrance of your divinity. So there's all kind of ways. So like the Bhakti yoga, there's Kriya yoga, Krya. They call that the elevator to God. That's really working on your postures and sitting deeper in your meditations and only focusing on the divine in you. There was a chant, Om Namah Shivaya, meaning I salute the divine in me. Om Namah Shivaya, meaning Shiva. I used to say it, Om Namah Shakti Shiva. The Shakti's sitting down coiled from the root up into the second chakra. And when you're doing yoga and Kundalini yoga, you're meditating on the release of the spirit of Shakti to flow up. Shiva sits up here, and you're waiting for Shakti to arrive in the Kundalini and connect inside the head. And when the connection is made, enlightenment comes, as they say. They talk about the 10,000 petals, the 10,000 ways. They talk about it in the Tao Te Ching, and they talk about it in the I Ching, the 10,000 ways, the 10,000 petals of Taoism, meaning that once everything hit the crown of your head between the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, once those connections were made, the wings came out. You were released, you were free in the 10,000 petals, everything opened up. And the Buddha wisdom came, the Christ consciousness came. So all of this, what they call a samadhi. Being in nirvana and samadhi. Samadhi just being there knowing that you arrived. So all these things are an experience. And it's a lifetime of experience. Then there's Raja Yoga, the yoga of the soul. They say this is what all the ascended ones had a chance to study, to go within and to know the I Am presence, the Raja of the soul. Qigong, as I mentioned earlier, is from the Chinese Buddhist monks and Taoist monks. Tao, we call it with a T, Tao, T-A-O, or Taoism, but they have a Taoist yoga, which is introducing the Qi, which is energy, and Kung, K-U-N-G, which is work. That's more of the there is a proper name for it. I'm just going to call it right now more English American writing, C-H-I, than K-U-N-G. But if you study it in the actual Chinese language, it's Q-I and then Q-O-N-G, Qigong. And Kung is skill. Qi is working, having the skill to bring that intrinsic energy that you don't see but that you will feel run through your body. So there's an intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic is internal. So Qigong is these internal exercises. Qigong was called the grandmother and the grandfather of all the martial arts. And it was based on the various animal postures, still postures and animal postures, postures in nature. So that you had this. So there's like the dragon form, or working in a dragon form is almost like a snake form. Very difficult to maintain, but very simple at the same time. And over a period of time, if done perfectly well for yourself, it's the releasing. It's following the movement of the Kundalini up and down the spine, and then down into the earth, and then up through the body, and then up through the spine, and out of the crown of the head, and all around you. There's also the other forms. There's so many schools of thoughts of Qigong and how they have been studied. But they have been always applied to help one understand how the energy works through you as the gateway and the energy in the earth. And if you ever want to, there are many people, the one who comes to mind, Mantak Chia, M-A-N-T-A-K, his first name Chia, C-H-I-A. He's probably in his 70s by now. But he has taught systems called the Healing Tao Tai Chi. But he has many different levels of it. And it's still very traditional at the same time. But many different levels that really cleanse the energy fields, the meridians in the body, and so forth. Then there's the study of Tai Chi Chuan. Chuan meaning fist. Tai Chi is grand ultimate. Chi, the grand ultimate. And there's, when you get into the study of Tai Chi Chuan or Tai Chi, there are about 4 different schools. Main schools is the Chen family, the Yang Chen family, but they call it Chen style, and then there's the Wu style, and then there's the Sun style. There's one called Thunder style. You know, Thunder is even lower body work, but very explosive. But the schools, William C.C. Chen, not necessarily of the same Chen family, but Chen nonetheless, came to the United States in 1963 to New York City, and he began teaching Tai Chi, meaning someone who had the opportunity to master it in his homeland. And then to be able to study it, and it's been known to correct asthma, bronchitis. There are postures I found out just recently that I didn't know that work with people that have fibromyalgia, people who have ADD, people who have kidney problems, people who have liver problems, and all this chi generated over a period of time through constant awareness and practice and deep breathing and proper step. It allows you to open up the body and close the body. There's something called the 9 gates, and that's understanding that there's 9 gates on the body where the chi can enter and exit. And I even developed over the years through my own studies and my deep desire wanting to know more of my connection to Tai Chi, I received a form back in 1988 called White Eagle's Wings. I've taught it since then to about 1,000 people, and I have a small knit group that I have taught it to. And then I kind of put it aside and went deeper into my metaphysical, but always kept it in my heart, always kept it in my mind, and I'm stepping back out into teaching it again, just on one-on-one. Not interested in the huge groups. Maybe out here in Albuquerque we'll set up a huge group. I got 2 people I'm thinking of. They got property. Maybe I'll engage and just we'll do it when the weather is warmer and step out and do some Tai Chi to open up the fields of energy for everybody. If that's all right with you guys. My heart's on the other side of Albuquerque. Anyway, and some things I'm planning 2017, 2018 that I'm planning to do too. I have to check with some, as they say, hotel energy out here that I might, invite students so they can come out and they go, yeah, they can come out and do some Tai Chi, with me. Just some basic, simple stuff. I have to review my levels of Qigong right now, and then I'm going to step it and correct some of the things that I'm doing, and then I'm going to step out. And when I do the Tai Chi, because I've been doing it so long, and it's not a staple, it's not something I'm going to be doing all the time, so when I do it, I'm going to keep it like a donation. So when I have it, wherever I do it at, I'm just ask for a donation. Whatever people want to give, I'm happy with. I just want to share the joy of teaching people how to do Tai Chi. And I do it from a natural posture. I do all my movements are within your walking posture, see? So that's a little different. People do say shoulder width and all of that, but it's really your natural posture, the natural way that you walk and move. And you realize that you've been doing Tai Chi for some time already. Alright, we are about 1 minute and 1 hour and 21 minutes. I want people to get to know that there are many things out there at our disposal. There's many websites. I've been advertising 3 women that I know that are connected to me. www.mariadeandrea.com. Then there's diananieves.com, and the other one was she's escaping me, womanshealingzone.com. They're all from the East Coast. Reverend Maria DeAndrea, has been out there since she was 16, so she's been working her craft for over 50 years. And I mean every day. Not one day has gone by that she misses, like myself. She was also one of my teachers that introduced me to protective energy work, in the psychic world and things of that nature that I had no knowledge about. She introduced me to how to connect with spirit guides and communicate with spirit guides and so forth. So she was an essential part of my formation of my studies when I met her in 1985-86. So we go way back. We're talking about 30 years of friendships, just like I met Lloyd Strayhorn and worked with him 40 years. So yeah, about 40 years with Lloyd Strayhorn, and we're talking about 38 with him, and we're in my connections of numerology. So we all have teachers, and that's important. Honor your teachers, honor your colleagues. If you can't be with them, send them light and energy. We're at a critical time, exciting time, beautiful time, strange time, scary time, but we can control that by sending a lot of our energy. And that's one of the reasons why I want to get back into teaching Tai Chi, what I understand about Tai Chi and Qigong, so that it's not only just caring for yourself, but it's allowing you to release energy out into the world to care for the world. And that's my approach that I'm taking on right now. If you want to find out more information about what I do, you can always go to http:// just like you see here, Circle of Grace should be written as one word with the one right after the E immediately, dot by region, BYREGION.net. And that's a website that I've had off and on for so many years. I first had it there in 2003, then I switched it, which I shouldn't have. I switched it around 2006, and then I had another .com, and then I came back. I had a .net somewhere, and now I'm back to it because it's it's hosted by Region Network, and I like to give a shout out to them. You can have a web page on a spiritual level. You can do they call it healers community, or you can do an artistic community, or you can combine them. But they have so much to offer, and I'll let you know right now. You pay every year $75 a year, and you get 6 extra months in there free. So they've been doing that since 2003. You pay $75 for 18 months on their platform, and it's a simple platform. But it's not like the greatest looking platform, but there's a lot of things that you can do with it, and it's all about putting your information out. That's why I have it. I go on in and put tons of information in, articles or blogs, video footage, audio footage I put in there, and just all sorts of wonderful things that everybody needs to know, everybody needs to hear. It's very important. I want to thank all of you for being supportive to me. Those who just met me in this lifetime but remember me from long ago. To all of you who have been in my life for years, I'm humbled to be here. I'm so excited. Sometimes I do get a little emotional about it. But hey, it's who we are. It's a part of who we are. I am so happy to be at this age, 64, 42 years, still doing this, and finding new ways to evolve it and bring it to another level and be on the planet and be in service. That's what we're here, to be in service. Not only to our colleagues, our loved ones. We have a lot of people that we can't reach all the time. They're not open to it. But hey, the world that we are in is open to it. The world needs our calling. The world needs our light, and we need to keep it going. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here on Ustream, broadcasting away. I'm on Blog Talk Radio, and I'm just waiting for that moment. I probably won't institute it this year. I thought I would, but maybe I'll start next year. But it's definitely on my agenda of things to do, to have another program where I can broadcast. I do Blog Talk Radio every Wednesday for 30 minutes, 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time when I come on. And then I'm here every Thursday the next day, so I get a chance to expound on what I was doing. See, I can expound on what I taught on Wednesday and bring it into Thursday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. And so it allows me to get this out. But I feel like there's one more platform that I'm always looking for. But maybe I don't need another platform. I have it. And when I'm on Blog Talk, it's The Age of Remembrance is the channel. Sub-channel title is Circle Grace 1 in the Age of Remembrance. Here it's Circle Grace 1 with myself, Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. So, with that being said, I do hope, and I'm looking forward to create more of my ancient guardians. And hey, I'm gonna show you one of the first ones. I did this. Guy came to me. He was the prototype for my Gemsaics. This is my personal copy. My sister Vernell has 2 of them. I gave her the female, who was the actual first one. Then I did this guy right here. And he came to me in an electrical storm, I would say, with his sister. And these are what I call the Gemsaic parts. These are actual shells and crystal chips And if you were to actually see this, this is his, as you see here, his left eye is how he sees things in the world. He's looking for more cohesiveness in the world, as you can see. Maybe I can bring it back this way. And it's almost like a heart. And if you look at the other eye over here, that's more like a heart shape. And that's what he wants to see flowing out of the world. He wants to see that in the world. And then he has like a sword, you see. So this is like two hilts here. The turquoise light on his third eye. And he's ready to be the guardian and the protector. So he is the second ancient guardian. The first one was a woman, also done 8 by 10, and my sister Vanell has her in the home. And then the mate, the mate showed up months later. The mate came this year for the first one, and it took me a while to release him. And I do have another guardian. I might as well show him. Excuse me, I got to get up and get to him. In fact, I got to take my hat off, take my headset off. Be right back. Put my head in place. And the one that she has is number 4. No, she has number 3, and that was done earlier this year. And the one I showed you, he was done in 2014. The ones that came in 2014, there was a very powerful summer electrical storm. Thunder and lightning. I mean, the skies went from dark blue to white when the lightning would flash. And then the woman and this guy were like huge. They were like as big as my body. I'm about 5'6", 5'5", 5'6". From head to toe, they were that tall, floating in the air in front of me in the living room. Both of them side by side, and I asked who they were, and they said, we are the guardians, ancient guardians, and more are coming. And so the one that my sister has that complements the woman, who was number 3, here comes number 4, and I was trying to put him out there to sell, but I left him behind for a show, and when I got back, he told me he's supposed to be here. He came for me, and he looks very much like in the sun, and he has some power in him. And I'm still not even done with him yet, because each and every one of them are supposed to have some gems added on. And he's very unique because if you look very closely, there's a man's head here. See the man's head right where the third eye is looking up? And then underneath the blue man, seen in his arms, forming like prayer hands, right there underneath. Then the rest of his body coming down, and the nose is hiding the rest of his body. It's like he's sitting on his feet and knees, and then the rest of his face. So he's very strong. He is not for sale. He's with me like this other brother gentleman is here. But I do know his spirit is from the great central sun. He's got that blue body on him. He's from the great central sun. And very strong spirit. But he has some gems. I have to take my time and add him some gems very lightly on here. On each side. I don't think he wants anything else on him unless I put it right there. And he's going to need some on his hair eventually. And all the guardians, they're being done just showing their faces right now. They only want you to see their faces, and this is how they're coming. So they're all ages, all sizes. This last one was 11 by 14, They may get bigger than that too as time goes on. That's why I'm doing a lot of energy work here where I am, a lot of shredding and papers, getting things more organized, because more are coming and they want to be shown, they want to be seen, and they want to be in your homes. So I'm getting ready to present that. Well, I'm getting ready to sign out, and yay, Tai Chi, indoor Qigong, both. I'm gonna teach both. I'm gonna introduce something that I'm learning about, a little more about Qigong, and I'm gonna share it with others. That's why it's someone else's system. But the type of Tai Chi that I do is taken from a wide variety of systems, but I understand in a past life it was my own that I taught as a Chinese Shaolin monk. But I was the non-warrior type, so I came up with this system, they said back then, and it only has 16 movements. And I promised my younger friends in Scottsdale, Arizona, that I would, when I get a chance, and I have to do it soon before the weather changes, that I need to record myself doing the 16 postures. And then once I get it going so that they can see the actual performance, I have to be able to do it though so that a person can see my right side, my left side, my front, most importantly my front side, and see some footwork at the same time. And here where I live, I do have the actual space out in front of the house between the front door and the gate. I can actually set it up there so people can see me. I do have a tripod. I just have to make sure it's upright and put the footage. So I'm not going to clip it so much. I'm going to just leave it in its raw form. And maybe at another time when I get together with Mike and Marie, if I have my battery warmed up like I should, I want to go through the movements and then let them, with my camera, let them videotape me with my little digital camera. And then I can talk about the movements and what they mean and so forth, the power behind it, meaning the spiritual essence behind it. So I'm going to sign off right now. Thank you so much for being here. My grace is your grace, or as Akhenaten says, our grace is your grace. I'll be back here next week. I don't know what the revelation will be for next week, but I'll definitely be back here and getting ready to power up for 2017. As I always say, no matter what we see going on in the world, we're supposed to contribute to the world. And you know, you have your ups and downs, but you still got to work through it. You still got to raise the energy. I mean, these things are here to keep the energy that we have, the gift that we have of knowing and healing, to put more of that energy out into the world. And if we put more of that energy out in the world, we'll see some peace, harmony, and happiness. We're going to see a lot of it. That fifth dimensional energy is beginning to unfold itself. And many of us are really already in it. We're just unaware that we're in it. So this is why I got to come back out here, not only for myself with the Qigong and my own style of Tai Chi, but to share it so that other people can enliven themselves and just have more tools to work with. So, until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing. As we are alive and well in the age of remembrance, see you here next week, which will be December the 15th. You'll see me here December the 15th at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Central, and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much. See you next week. I'll be on Blog Talk Radio next Wednesday, 4 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 3 way out on the West Coast. Blog Talk Radio, The Age of Remembrance, Wednesdays. Here's Circle Grace 1 with myself live video stream. Alright. Bless you. Take care of yourselves. And see you next week. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, email me at iam.circlegrace1 at yahoo.com, or better yet at iam.circlegrace1 at gmail. Alright, signing off.